Hello everybody! In today's podcast I have a great chat to Laust Sonne, which is the drummer of Danish rock band DAD. I've been a fan of these guys since, I think, my early teens. They've been around for nearly 40 years, and this is the first time in, I think, 32 years that they are playing in Australia. And it was an absolutely mind-blowingly awesome concert. Such a good atmosphere, and it was great to see them play on a small stage, because these guys usually play big arenas and stadiums back home in Denmark. So I really hope you're going to enjoy this little chat me and Jacob have with Laust, where we discover his musical background, inspirations of how DAD are putting songs together, and overall fun and banter about the little Australian tour. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to check out the description. There's a discount link to an upcoming gig, and also please subscribe to the channel, because there will be many more exciting interviews coming up over the next couple of months. Thank you so much and enjoy. It's so nice, a lot of the Danish bands actually take the time out to come down to play to the Danish community.
It's nice. Yep. Combine it with a small holiday, that's perfect.
That's it.
Especially in the winter time, it's really good.
Oh yeah, of course, because it's getting nice and warm here.
It's snowing back in Denmark, so everybody's like, thank you for letting us be here.
I spoke to my mom yesterday, and she told me some video, like we were FaceTiming, and there was snow in her backyard. I was like, it's crazy,
cold,
and it's only mid-November.
Yeah.
So, but look, thank you so much, Laust, for taking the time out to come and have a little chat to us. You guys have you've been doing a couple of gigs on the East Coast on your little tour here. How's that been so far? How's the reception been?
It's been totally amazing. Yep. It's been really overwhelming, actually. The band hasn't been back for 30 years, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
So you don't know what you're coming back to. You don't know if anybody's coming to the gig, or do they remember the songs, or do they remember the band, or whatever. So we just... and the gig has been postponed for 2 years. Supposed to be in 2020. Because of COVID, got cancelled.
Yep.
Postponed to 2021. Because of COVID, got cancelled. So now we're here, and we're like, let's see what happens, But it happened, and we started out in Brisbane, and huge crowd, and people were singing along, and so happy. And we have a meet and greet before every show.
Yep.
And those people were just so dedicated and bought T-shirts, and we took photos, and so it's been like quite overwhelming. Actually, it's been really heartwarming.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But I think there was one of the shows you told me that you had a meet and greet after the show.
Well, we had we played. We had quite a busy schedule. We played Brisbane. Day after we played Sydney. Then day after we played Melbourne.
Yeah, right.
And flying from Sydney to Melbourne got really complicated because our flight was cancelled. Because of COVID, actually.
Really?
Yes.
The flight crew wave up there a little bit, yeah.
The flight crew was down, so they had to rearrange the whole thing with Virgin Atlantic. So we ended up going to Tasmania first, and then to Melbourne.
Yeah,
it's a long way.
So that was like one on the bucket list, which I didn't know even was on my bucket list. But it was crazy to go there, and we spent like half an hour in the airport and flew to Melbourne. But just landing there and.
Yeah,
it's fun.
There was enough time to squeeze in a couple of songs at the airport or something.
But then we had to go straight to the venue, straight to sound checking, and then straight to playing. So we did the meet and greet after the show, which was like in the middle of the night. So
nice.
It was a long day.
Yeah,
it was a very long day.
I could imagine.
I slept all day. We had a day off after in Melbourne. I had big plans for shopping, and I just slept.
But that's again, like both me and Jacob has been joking about this, many times in other instances. Like Australia is the worst country in the world when it comes to touring, because the logistics is just horrible.
It seemed like it was really like everything was very organized, and do the group check-in, so it's very easy to check all the equipment and stuff like that. But then suddenly it just snapped and fell apart. So it's. The traveling is a lot. I would say that.
Yeah, there's a lot of flights and different time zones as well. Obviously, you guys landed here. There's 3 hours difference.
Yeah,
I think.
That's you can feel that as well.
Yeah.
And coming from Denmark to Australia is like just a head fuck.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I could imagine. Yeah. But as we were we briefly talked about it before we started recording here. It's very different seeing you guys, or I haven't seen you guys yet, but sort of seeing you guys play on a stage this size compared to most of the shows that we see you guys play in Denmark. Which are stadiums and arenas and big festivals and stuff. What's a different feeling being on like a back to the club stage?
Well, the thing is that we actually do that quite a lot as well. And when we play down Europe, we play in Germany and France and Italy and Portugal and Spain. We play these kind of shows.
Yeah, gotcha.
500 to 1,000 people.
Yep.
And so today's going to be even smaller, but it's the same kind of vibe. You just strip it down. It's just a rock and roll quartet.
Yeah.
Just banging it out, and I think that's the core of the band anyway.
Yeah.
So all the big screens and the silly stuff going on, that's building on top of the music,
of the core values.
Yeah. So it's really great to be back on sometimes too. When you play the big stages, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's also sometimes really nice to just bring the focus back to the music and just to perform for like a couple of hundred people.
Does that bring you back to when you started in the band, when you were cutting your teeth and bringing yourself through? Obviously, before you hit the amazing.
Yeah, but I didn't join the ship until it was up
So
there.
you were,
I don't know how
even
it was
before?
like. But I've been in other bands, of course, trying to build up stuff. I don't know if it's because we still have a following, so it's always, and sometimes it's nice to play these shows because it's the rock audience that is showing up. It's not people just come to the festival and then they hear Rita Ora and then they hear D.A.D. and then they hear something, This is the rock audience. They came to hear this band and they came to rock out. So you get this energy that's really intense.
Came here for the meet and greet to say hi, shake your hand, have a photo on it.
And then just rock out, and that's great.
Yeah.
That's
awesome. But you've been doing, like, you've been playing for what? You've been playing professionally for 20, 30 years or something now.
Yeah, I mean...
You started out from memory, Tim Christensen was one of the first...
Yeah, but before that, I lived in London a couple of years and lived in LA a couple of years, also playing.
Yep.
So since I was 20, basically. So that's like 28 years almost.
Wow.
Yeah. Couldn't imagine doing anything else.
No, I could only imagine. But that's again, like I think a lot of the stuff that we often hear about when we talk to bands locally here is like how do we get out? Like how do we become more than just a little local band?
Yeah.
And again, I understand the logistics of living in US or being in Europe is vastly different to being in Perth, which is the most isolated capital city in the world.
Yeah.
But what was your sort of your view on, or maybe your pivot point where you decided to say, okay, look, I'm going to go and be like a full-time musician and do this professionally?
Well, it came in different stages, I guess. But I started playing drums when I was 3 years old, so it's like I always wanted to play music.
Yeah.
And for many years it was mainly jazz music and kind of world music, funk music. But then I hooked up with some people and we made a band, and it was rock music, and I started getting into David Bowie, Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix, the whole 60s, 70s thing. And then we moved to London from there, and that was like I knew I was going to be a musician, but that was like, okay, I'm going to be a rock star.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
So that was like the thing, going to London. Okay, we're going to get a record deal and we're going to blah, 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 all that stuff. And it didn't happen, of course, like that. But we lived in London for a couple of years, and then the band moved to LA, lived there for a couple of years, and was struggling playing all the shit shows you can play, but played the Troubadour in LA, it's a classic rock venue. And also we did get a record deal, but it all fell apart in the end. So I came back to Denmark, and after being in Denmark only for a couple of months, I'd been away for almost 4 years then at that time. Came back, and then D.A.D. needed a drummer, so I came back at the right time.
Yeah, right.
And my older brother, who's also a drummer, he knew the guitar player from D.A.D. So he said he was living in London, so he talked to Jacob, and he said, "Well, my brother just came back from L.A. He's a great drummer. Why don't you call him?" So he called me, and I was like, "Nah, I'm not going to join a band right now. I just came out of a long
relationship.
Long story with another band that ended in a really bad way. So thanks, but no thanks." And he was like, "What? Don't you know who we are?"
Yeah, like, hey, don't
actually,
you know who I am?
didn't really know. I knew about D.A.D., but I didn't know the songs and didn't know the story. So I was just, I'm going to do my own thing, and I'm also a singer, so I was going to do my own albums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then I agreed to go to the studio with D.A.D. And from then it just caught on, basically. We just had a really good time in the studio and found out that we grew up in the same area in Copenhagen, and found out we were all skaters when we were young and, kids. And so we just had a lot in common, and it just clicked. So it was a no-brainer, basically.
So you were brought in just for a studio session with them. Was that what it was?
Yeah, I agreed, because I think they were, of course, looking for a full-time member of the band, and I just came back from LA, and I was really like, wow, that was quite a trip. So let me just have some time to settle down here. And they were kind of cool about it. They know, like, okay, do we start? We have a recording session. Do you want to do that? So I said, okay, let's do that.
What song was that?
That was the beginning of Everything Glows.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Of that album.
One of my favorite albums.
Yeah, it was a really good, happy process.
Yeah, there's a lot of experimental stuff on that album.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And also they gave me the freedom to just, I have an idea, I want to play the vibraphone on this song. So, okay, go and do it,
Yeah.
Oh, I have an idea for this. Okay, go and do it. So it's like, and it actually ended up on the album. So it's like, maybe I have my own spot in this band, so it could be
fantastic.
Quite cool. Yeah.
There's actually a song now you bring up that album that I've always wanted to sort of get some more clarity on, which is "A Kiss Between the Legs."
Yeah,
because that song stands out so much compared to the rest of it, because it's got that sort of Latin vibe to it and stuff.
Yeah.
How did that song come about? Because even as a D.A.D. song, it's vastly different to all the other ones.
Every time we write for an album, we always have these completely left out songs, out left.
Yeah.
And this was one of them. And we had another one that was even further out. It was called "Don't Put the Voodoo on Me." Luckily it didn't end up on the album, because it was just like, that was really a shit song, but it was just for fun, And
right.
"A Kiss Between the Legs" was kind of just on the edge of being too silly, but also it was quite catchy, and we did this kind of Santana version of it.
Yeah.
So okay, let's have it on the album.
Yeah.
And it was fun to play. We played it on my first gig in Denmark with D.A.D. We played it acoustically.
Nice.
And I was playing acoustic guitar as well. So it was kind of, we believed in the song at the time.
Yeah, cool. Well, I'm only a couple of years younger than you, and I remember like in my early 20s, when that song came out and stuff like that was our go-to party song when we had to go out, because it's a bit of like a bit of dirty lyrics, like "Be kind to clitoris weak," they sing that in the chorus.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, but it's
like a joke taken way too far.
Yeah.
Ending up on the album. What?
But yeah, as you said, like it's got that sort of Santana feel, which is very different to a lot of the other stuff, which is like rock or hard rock.
Yeah, but you've got to throw those things in the ring, right?
For sure.
Without that kind of thinking, we'd never have Cherry Pie.
That's
similar things, or She's Got the Jack, those kinds of
songs. But it's also cool because obviously, like being where you guys are at in the Danish ecosystem, like you can do what you want, really, like because you have such a big fan base.
Especially at the time I joined the band, it was like we were really flying high. We basically could do anything.
Yeah,
that was a feeling anyway, and so we did. We tried a lot of things.
Yeah. Tell me a little about the latest album, because I was about to say the new album, but it's a couple of years old now. So, but it was brand new to me. Like I discovered it, a week or two ago.
Congratulations!
And it's an amazing album.
Thank you.
So this is a part of the touring cycle for that album. Is that correct?
I mean, of course, the touring cycle got completely fucked up because of COVID. So we were just about to go on a huge summer tour. And the whole thing just shut down, so it kind of fell flat on the ground there. It was a shame.
Yeah.
But the album turned out to be really good, and it was an album that took a long time coming, because it was 8 years between the last one and this one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and we were just touring a lot, and we just needed a break.
Yeah.
Basically from songwriting and from touring, so we took a year off.
Yeah.
Which was very needed. And then the songwriting process in D.A.D. is very, how can you say it without it being negative? It just takes a long time.
Yeah.
It's very democratic. Everybody has to agree on even the smallest lick. So, it takes a long time. And everybody's writing and everybody's bringing stuff to the table. So we have to agree on what's best and what to throw out. And then the songs develop from there, and it takes a long time to record them, has to be right, and blah 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 blah, and we just it took a long time, but we are really, really happy with the result. It's
how do you manage that dynamic? Because I mean, for the last year, we've been sitting in rooms with strangers, having to do exactly that in a 12-hour period, and then just decide on what's appropriate for the song, and then feel like everyone's been heard. Like, how's that process for you guys?
Well, we go through phases. I would say. I mean, it's as you know, it's like some days you just kind of straight into it. It just feels good from the beginning, and other days and other periods it's just like nothing good is happening. It's like ugh, and it's like it makes you really sick. I gotta go to rehearsal space again and make bad music, you know. But we try and we keep going, and sometimes, you know, when you walk away from the rehearsal space and you think we did only shit today, and then you go back the next day and listen back to it and actually kind of like this, you know, kind of like that, and we record everything. Even though it's just the tiniest riff, we just let's get it on tape.
Okay.
Because first of all, you can't remember it the day after. When you do like 15 riffs in a row, you can't remember any of them afterwards. And so we record everything, and then we listen back to it and said, okay, this really was shit, and this was actually not bad.
This actually needs to go in the bin.
A lot of stuff goes into the bin, and thank God for that.
So is everyone coming armed with ideas, or is it just everyone comes into the room and then starts to make soup? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we start out with everybody coming with ideas.
Yeah.
And then when all the ideas are on the table, it kind of, sometimes we continue writing on ideas, or we bring in stuff that happens spontaneously in the space, or and sometimes we don't really have anything to play, so it's just like, well, I don't have any ideas. Do you have any ideas? Most of the time, it's pretty free flowing, I think. Yeah. But so it's very, everybody's just feeling their way through it. But that also means that when we end up with an album, it's everybody's album.
That's right.
And it's no matter how left the idea is, everybody else is going to bring it into the DAD space. Yeah. So when you hear a DAD album, you can hear it instantly. It's a DAD album. Yeah. Because of that process, I think. Yeah. So that's the good thing about it.
Yeah. Well, let me quickly just run you in on what Jacob was talking about before when we said that we brought people into a room, because we've been working on that music charity here, as I was mentioning to you about before.
Sounds great.
Over the last 12 months. What we've done here is we had a big registration phase. We had nearly 100 musicians from the local rock scene sign up for this, and then once per month we would sit down and we would pick a drummer, a bass player, one or two guitarists, and a singer. Sometimes two singers, and we would just say, you got to be at this studio at 7:30 in the morning. And they would not know who they're going to be paired up with. So you have this group of people that are thrown, all capable musicians. Yeah. But they have to come in, meet up in the morning, and collaboratively they have to write a song, rehearse a song, record it, and for the first 6 songs, release it before we go home.
Wow.
So they had 12, 13 hours roughly to get everything done from scratch. And obviously, some of them had like a little riff that they would might bring in, but because they didn't know who they're going to be paired up with, they have nothing to bounce off prior to being in the room. Yeah. So very different working process. How does that sound to you?
It sounds great. I mean, I love working with all different kinds of musicians but also playing different kinds of music. So I just recorded a jazz album. I have a jazz trio where I play jazz drums and there's a saxophone and bass. So when you record that kind of album, you just go in and you just play the set. That you played the night before in some small club. You just play it a couple of times and that's the album. You pick the best take from each song, and that's it.
It's just how it sounds.
It takes 2 days,
Yeah.
So I love that. I love the spontaneity of that, but also, I mean, DAD albums, we always set the bar really, really high. We wanted to be the best possible. Yeah. So we are really picky about. I mean, we could sometimes it takes us like 15 minutes to write a song. We have everything. Yeah. Dang, 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 dang. Let's do it. We all know what works, what doesn't work, arrangement wise. So we can do that really, really fast. But you just, when you have so little time, you don't have time to really like let it sink in. Is it really as good as we feel right now? Yeah. Or is it just like excitement, but it's the core is really not so great. Yeah. So that's why we'll record some stuff, leave it, make a lot of new stuff, record it, leave it, make some new, record it, leave it, and then we go back and listen. Okay, we have 20 songs. Let's do the 10 best. Yeah. Out of maybe 50 that was tried, Wow. So So we do a lot of work.
Well, it's obviously it would be a very different process when you have a brand, like when you have a business you need to run. Like what we were doing here was simply just like for charity, so trying for people to come together, and also again like as a challenge, oh damn, I gotta work with these person I haven't met before and release something, and then use that song to try and raise some money for local
but
charity.
I think that's how a lot of songs are written. Yes.
But man, we were both blown away with the quality of the songs that came out.
Yeah, I mean, if you are capable and you get together and there's chemistry, shit happens.
And it makes people better.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like learning, you're talking about knowing arrangements and things that work.
Yeah.
That you've got a bit of a method there that that you can put things together and it will sound great and it'll sound like DAD.
Yeah.
But sometimes, I don't know, if you get into echo chambers, I sit in spaces like that where I think I know what works, and then I take it somewhere and someone goes, you never write that many verses. That's too many. That's too long.
Yeah.
And you start channeling into this other thing. Like, how did you land at that method that you think, or as a band, is working really well?
Well, we also, it's a balance between what we know work, but also you can't just repeat on all the arrangements. So you have to mix it up. You have to turn shit around and make it exciting.
Make it interesting.
And sometimes you have to start with the chorus. Sometimes you have to start with drums, or start with the bass, or whatever. And I remember when I had to learn all the songs when I just joined the band. I had to learn like 20 D&D songs for the first show.
Yeah.
And when you listen to it at first, like, oh, that's pretty basic. It goes, drums are pretty basic. Goes like this. But in the middle part, there was always some really fucked up stuff going on. I had to really listen to it. Really learn it. So that was every time I came after the second chorus, I was like, I hope I remember, because they always. That's the thing about D&D. Some funny stuff always happens in the song at some point.
So did you try and put your own spin on it, or did you try and pretty much just replicate what was it Peter, the old drummer?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they just released a live album when I joined Psychopathico.
Yep.
So I had all the arrangements pretty much right there. To listen to. So we started out playing it pretty much like that, but then after a while, some solos got longer, some arrangements got changed, and I sometimes I forgot what they did, so we did something else, and so okay, let's do that, So it's pretty organic. Yeah.
But it's but it works, man. Like it's so cool when you see it's been 11 or 12 years ago since I saw you guys play last. But it's one of those times where you have those breakdowns live, where you do a little solo or something. You just keep it going based on the vibe of the audience and stuff.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing, like about being. But you can also hear you're really, really well played live band. Like you guys have been together and have a lot of chemistry.
We play a lot.
And so you can quite quickly sort of read each other on the night, and it's a joy. It's a joy to watch.
Great.
So you guys are going to sound check pretty soon. This is the last gig on the tour.
Yeah.
And then you're off to Singapore.
Singapore, yes.
Yeah.
We can't wait to come back here.
Yeah.
Really, it's been amazing, and the crowd is there, so it's just to make it happen.
Yeah.
Calendar-wise, and maybe hook up with another band so we can play some bigger venues. That would be great.
Yeah.
Make a proper double bill tour, some kind of stuff like that would be nice.
But it's still been worthwhile coming down and all that. Yeah, because obviously
it was like a big test. What the fuck is going to happen when we come down? But really good stuff happened. Really good stuff happened, and the audience seems so happy that we are back.
Yeah.
So even just that is worth it all.
And it's definitely the right time of year to come here as well.
Oh yeah, that too. So maybe early 24. That's what we are aiming at right now to come back.
Sounds awesome.
That'd be exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We'll look forward to that, man.
All right.
Sure.
Thanks so much, Laust.
Yeah,
it's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for watching, and if you did enjoy the chat, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell so you get notifications in the future. Also, don't forget to check out DAD and check out Laust's other material. Everything is in the description, so please go ahead. And also there's a little extra link for you to check out for an upcoming concert that I would love you to attend if you are in Perth. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Can't wait to see you in the next one. Enjoy.